For all those non-believers that think Erica is going to be fine, let's take a few moments to realize what series we are currently reading right now. This is Berserk, and this is the same man that wrote Volume 13. So, seeing Erica getting split in half, maybe to be used as some way to put out the fire on Rakshas, I could see happening. And I don't want that to happen, but something like that can happen. So that is not entirely off the table, and I could see the next month's chapter opening up with Erica being split in half, and let's not even think about that imagery right now. So yeah, this month's chapter of Berserk is finally translated. It's been out for about 2 weeks now. It was translated earlier last night, and I went to sleep soon as it came out, so I didn't have time to review it then, but I'm reviewing it now. So yeah, I mean, Berserk is out. It was a little bit later than normal when how it came to recent translations of previous chapters, but I'm glad to see it's still being translated and coming out pretty much on time. Now, I want to say, I bet the old readers of Berserk right now are still jumping for joy knowing that monthly chapters of Berserk are still coming out. It is not a joke. They're still coming out monthly. It's been multiple months now since Berserk has been coming out, and I know for a fact long-term fans are like, holy shit, this is really happening right now, because it's scheduled to have another chapter next month, and that is probably something this series hasn't seen for a very long time. Consistent releases of chapters for many, many months. So now that I've said that, into the chapter. So this chapter, pretty straightforward. You have it to where Rickert, he confronts Rakshas and wants to take him down, or at least defend himself long enough where he can escape. And you have it to where Rakshas makes his move in the middle of the night, as he said, and tries to attack Rickert. The reason why you have it to where Rickert doesn't really want to run away at the moment is because he knows how apostles or demons are, because he has had a running in with them in the past. The demon would continuously chase after them. It would be very persistent with who it wants to kill. So Rickert knew that there was no reason to really try to run from Rakshas, because he would probably continuously track him down for all time if he continued to run, so he might as well confront the problem and get it out of the way. So that's kind of where the standpoint in this chapter is. So Rickert, he confronts Rakshas, he initiates his plan, and he tries to fight back. He uses his crossbow, and he puts some arrows inside of him, and eventually Rakshas is like, you do realize this doesn't work. And when, Rickert shot him in the mask, he's like, oh, I just put this mask on and it's already damaged. And he pouts and all that like he did in the previous chapter, which is something I just never expected from Rakshas. How he gets so emotional over his mask. I guess everybody has objects that they have sentimental value to, but to see Rakshas, getting all worked up over a mask being hurt, it makes me wonder how his previous life was. Another thing we need to actually take note of, it is officially confirmed now after this chapter, it was like a lot of debates, a lot of theories, and there was a lot of talk in between everything. And, with the last chapter with Rakshas, fighting, we all wondered if Rakshas really was, an apostle or not. We really didn't have 100% confirmation if he was. But now seeing his true form appearing in this chapter, and it's not just, shadows and stuff moving around that could have possibly been magic, it is confirmed that Rakshas is an apostle. So now, all that debating is thrown off the table, because I've seen many Chibits and recent chapter reviews I've done talk about this, so now that's off the table. It's completely confirmed. If you still believe that Rakshas is not an apostle, well, that's just gone now, because he is confirmed to be an apostle. So, you have it to where Salat, he comes in, and he tries to fight Rakshas. And then Rakshas is like, oh, you took me by surprise. I expected you to be arrogant and be so full of yourself. The person you were in the past would have been very arrogant and wouldn't have been as good to be able to fight me. So Rakshas was surprised to see how good Salat was at fighting him in the chapter. And Salat goes along the lines of saying, yes, I used to be arrogant. So he actually admits that he was very arrogant. So that's some really good development right there for him to even realize he was an arrogant person. But going back onto that, he's like, yes, I was an arrogant person until one day I came across this person and fought him. And Rickert realizes amongst the conversation that he was talking about Guts. So Guts changed Salat into a better person, or a person that tried to better himself and not be as arrogant. So good job, Guts. I mean, instead of just always being a murderer that kills everybody, at the very least, you changed someone. You've changed someone for the better. Now, shits and giggles aside, Salat, I like where his character is going in these past few chapters. I don't think Kentaro is going to try to kill off Salat. I don't think he will. Because right now, with the way he's being set up with, the previous chapter to his land and different things like that, I just don't think he will be killed off anytime soon, and he might be one of the assets to Guts' fight in the future when he finally goes up against Griffith. I can see Salat being helpful to him. But, talking about the fire, though, so, Salat in his Bakudaka, they put fire all over Rakshas, and he's on fire. He's like, oh my god, I'm on fire! And, he transforms into his pulsar form trying to calm down, and he grabs his horse, and he splits this fucking horse above him, and you see this blood just pouring all over. I'm like, oh my god, PETA's gonna have a lot of issues with this. It's just like a horse just getting split in half, and you just see its organs and innards just falling out, and you see the blood going all over Rakshas, and he's like, oh, I'm still a little bit on fire, and all of a sudden, Erica, she starts running in, and she gets yanked right above Rakshas, and we know where that's going. Okay, so who here wants to bet? $10 on saying that Erica is going to be split in half and used as a way to put out the fire in Rakshas, or $10 on the fact that she'll be fine and somehow she will be saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Or you could do the middle section where Kentaro's going to pull a troll and we're going to move over to Guts. So there's three possibilities. Now, lay your bets on the table. What do you think is going to happen? Now, remember, this is Berserk, and Kentaro, I think we all know he is willing to kill off characters, so there's no doubt about that. We've seen some pretty gruesome shit, even with children. So even children are not saved when it comes to Berserk. Not even Erica. Not even long-term characters. So, tell me your thoughts. And that's about it when it comes to this month's chapter. Cannot wait to see how the next chapter is going to be. I wonder if we're going to get to see Guts get off his boat, if we're going to continue on where we're at right now with, Erica, if she's going to get split in half, or is Kentaro going to pull a troll. We'll see how next month's chapter is. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please be safe. Chibi out.